Next up, visions of sugar plum fairies down Boylston Street for the Urban Nutcracker, back for its 20th season after a year-long pandemic hiatus. Presented by City Ballet of Boston, the Urban Nutcracker celebrates the many cultures of the city. It features several styles of dance from tap to hip-hop to swing, all set to the classical score from Tchaikovsky, blended with the rhythms of Duke Ellington. More than 150 performers are involved in the production, including local kids, tap virtuoso Khalil Hill, and star hip-hop dancer Ricardo Foster Jr., both born and raised in Boston. Plus, Dorchester's own Bill Whitney will lead the live orchestra as the show's music director, and Ruth Whitney will be working triple time on stage in the roles of Sugar Plum Fairy, the Snow Queen, and an Arabian dancer. Ruth and Bill Whitney join me now. Great to see you both. Thanks so much for being there.
Thanks for having us.
So I saw my pleasure. I saw the Urban Nutcracker a few years ago, I think at John Hancock Hall, and it is not your grandfather's Nutcracker, nor your grandmother's. Ruth, starting with you, can you expand a little bit on Anthony Williams, the creator's vision and version of the Nutcracker?
Well, I think that he has this vision that it's really for everybody, and it includes all different types of dance and music, and that it's for every kid, not for one particular kid or one particular type of family. And so I think that the way it's set on stage with all the different types of music and all the different types of dance really speaks to that.
And Bill, we see a lot of Boston. I remember, I think, the State House Dome, the Citgo sign. This is a Boston Nutcracker, no?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, in this show, this is somewhat unconventional for ballet and theatrical productions. The band is actually up on stage. We're not down in the pit. They built us some lofts up in the set, and most of the band is up stage left, audience right, behind sort of a scrim of the hat shell. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a cool presentation, you know?
Ruth, how old were you when you first saw the original, the classical Nutcracker?
Somewhere between 2 and 3.
No, is that really true?
Yeah, they didn't want to let me in the theater, and my parents said, no, she'll behave, and that was it. I said,
Did you?
I'm going to be a ballerina. Yeah.
Did you behave?
I did. I sat on the edge of my seat, and that was it. I danced every day all around our house. I said, I'm going to be a dancer.
And have you performed in the traditional, for lack of better expression, Nutcracker, Ruth?
Yeah, many times. At one point as a teenager, I think I did 52 performances of the Nutcracker one year.
So what's this feel like when you're doing this? Which, I mean, when people see this, I mean, obviously there's a lot that, including the plot line, that is pretty similar, but wow, is it a different experience? What was it like for you as a performer, one to the other?
Honestly, this is my favorite Nutcracker I've ever done as a performer, because when I'm in ballet productions, dancers can be very warm and encouraging, but ballet dancers are usually by nature kind of quiet and focused when we get to what we want to do. And so it's all good job and we encourage each other. But in this show, everyone's high-fiving and yelling backstage and go, go, go. And it has a real different feeling backstage as well as on stage, and it's kind of electric. Like, it feeds everybody. It's just fantastic.
Bill, were you 2 or 3 when you first saw the original?
No, I came to ballet a bit later than my wife did.
Okay, that's fine. So, and Bill, there are a ton of kids. I love this part of this, a ton of local kids in this production, and I'm assuming not all of them have performed on stage before. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, you know, all the kids in this show, you know, they work really hard and they've done a lot of dance classes, but yeah, there's some young kids, and I can't say for sure that this is a first performance for any of them, but many of the children involved in the show are new to performing, and they really work hard, and they really, you know, they're in it, man. They're part of the cast.
And Ruth, I'm assuming not only they're new to performing, some of them, but they're probably new to the Nutcracker. And while we're all talking about having seen, in your case, performed in both versions, I'm guessing a ton of these kids, the Urban Nutcracker is the only Nutcracker they know, no?
You know, probably. I think there's so much out there of the more classical version that probably by the time they're 10 or 11, they've seen it. But the little kids, probably this is the one they saw first. I don't know what that's like. I mean, they might think the other's a little more boring.
I've been to the other one a lot of times, and I've slept through, I shouldn't admit this, more than one performance. Not this, though, I should say. You know, Bill, I may be fishing for something that doesn't exist, but I know when Anthony Williams first had this performed, it was right after 9/11. This is a pretty tumultuous time, too. Do you think that in any way shapes how the person sitting in the audience sees what they're viewing on stage, or no?
Yeah, absolutely. As performers, whether I'm playing in an orchestra or in a band kind of setting or doing these kind of theatrical presentations, our job is to kind of like take people out of their reality and like this. It's sort of escapism, but it's a little bit more of an emotional journey than that. Like that's the idea. Like that's our goal as performers, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I think the crazier the times that we're living in, the more this stuff matters. Like the more people need this.
I couldn't agree more. How often have you, Bill, how often do you two perform together in the same production?
Not nearly often enough.
And what's that like?
I love it. The bulk of my performing is actually, I have a 9-piece soul band. We mostly play like big weddings and corporate functions and stuff is most of my performing. Either that or I play with the Cambridge Symphony. It's unusual that I get to do a big ballet production with Ruth, but any time that we do, it's something really special for me. I really love that.
Ruth, raise your right hand. What's it like performing with your husband?
Can't raise my right hand. I will drop the phone. But I'm so sorry.
What's it like?
I really love performing with him. We're so busy. We have kids and we do a lot. And to have a chance to go to work and while I'm at work, actually see my husband and not come home at 11:30 at night and say, how was your day? If I could do that every day for my life, that's what I would choose. He's my partner. Yeah.
By the way, I wouldn't have asked. I just noticed you're sitting in your car, Ruth. I should have picked up on that. I didn't.
No, it's okay.
All I can say is, I haven't seen this version. The one I saw was just brilliant and huge amount of joy. I hope people go. It's great to meet you both. Good luck with this run.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.